Hey guys, Sonic Smash Bro here with my fastest King of Games climb so far, even outspeeding my first speedway climb. Yeah, I've been on fire with Synchron Quasar recently. As for why I wanted to profile this again, 1, we had to change cards this time, there was no getting around this. And for 2, you could probably guess where my Prismatic Dream tickets went. Just saying. Anyway, let's get right to the point and start off with the usual A Bond Illuminates the Future. You know the drill with this by now. Each effect is once per duel, and you can change the position of set cards set by the skill. First effect, send the Synchron or a level 2 Wind Warrior with 1000 less attack from hand to grave. Add a Synchron from deck to hand, then set Synchro Chase from outside of a deck. You know what this does by now. The opponent can't activate cards or effects in response to the effect activations of your Synchro monsters with Warrior, Synchron, or Stardust in the original names. And once per turn, if you Synchro summon a Synchro monster with one of those names, you can bring back one of its materials in defense mode. Second effect, send all monsters you control to the graveyards. If their total combined original attack is 2500 or more, set 2 Cider Dragons with different names at random out of the 4 from outside of your deck. You know what this can bring out by now. And turn 3 and onward, return Stardust Dragon from your field or graveyard to the extra deck, then change the level of all Synchro monsters you currently control to level 2, and set Lifestream Dragon from outside of the deck. As usual, your extra deck must have a level 10 or higher light monster, and no monsters other than Synchro monsters, and your main deck must have at least 7 level 2 or lower Warrior type or Machine type monsters. Let's get right to it with the Double Junk Synchron. When normal summon, you can target a level 2 or lower in the grave, special summon it in defense, with effects negated. And the Double Warrior. When a monster is special summoned from your grave except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is sent to the grave with Synchro material, you can special summon 2 double tokens in attack position. Level 1 Dark Warrior type monsters with 400 attack and defense each. The Double Jet Synchron is next. If this card is sent to the grave with Synchro material, you can add a junk monster from deck to hand. If it's in your grave, you can send the card from hand to grave, special summon it, but banish it when it leaves the field. 1 effect per turn, only once that turn, and the skill's second effect ignores the banish rule. Keep that in mind. The Double Junk Converter, yeah, you can tell where my SR Dream Prismatic ticket went. Mainly I just did this one because it was a structure deck exclusive, the other ones I can get from boxes. But anyway, you can discard this card and a tuner, add a Synchron from deck to hand. If it's sent to the grave with Synchro material, you can target a tuner in your grave, special summon it in defense, but it can't activate effects this turn. Each effect is once per turn. The classic, just so useful. Speaking of useful, Synchron Explorer. When normal summon, you can target a Synchron on the grave, special summon it with effects negated. And Synchron Carrier. This one got a bit interesting, and I'll mention why a little bit later. During your main phase, you can normal summon a Synchron monster in addition to your normal summoner set return once per turn. If another Synchron monster is sent to your graveyard as a Synchro material, but the Synchro summon of a Warrior type or Machine type Synchro monster, while you control this card, you can special summon 1 Synchron token once per turn. A level 2 Earth Machine type monster with 1000 attack and 0 defense. This actually almost came up. I'll explain why later, and why I say almost, but if it worked, it would have been amazing. That's it for monsters on the spells, no traps, and we're starting with a new card, the Forbidden Droplet. Send any number of other cards from your hand and or field to the graveyard. Choose that many effect monsters your opponent controls, and until the end of this turn, their attack is halved. Also, their effects are negated. In response to this card's activation, your opponent cannot activate cards or the effects of cards with the same original type, monster, spell, or trap respectively, as the cards you sent to the graveyard to activate this card. And you can only activate 1 Forbidden Droplet per turn, but for Synchron, it's a tech card. We only need the 1 anyway. And it's actually surprisingly tricky to get around. This thing, when utilized properly, can be a menace. Double Book of Moon. Target a face-up monster on the field, change it to face-down defense. We absolutely need Book of Moon again. One reason, and it's a huge reason, it's a tier 0 reason even. Tachyon. We need to flip Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon to face-down defense so they can't activate Tachyon Transmigration, or they are forced to activate it. Yeah, this is essential. So sadly, I have to go down to 1 Forbidden Lance. Target a face-up monster on the field until the end of this turn. It loses 800 attack, but it's unaffected by the effects of other spell and trap cards. Cosmic Cyclone, 3 of these to be precise. Pay 1,000, target a spell travel on the field, and banish it. Yeah, I'm a back row hater, but unfortunately, we do have to worry about Tachyon, so Book of Moon is a must again. Double Tuning, add a Synchron Tuner from deck to hand, then send the top card of your deck to the grave. And lastly, the One Forbidden Chalice. Target a face-up monster on the field until the end of this turn, it gains 400 attack, but effects are negated. I prefer to go 2, but we do need the books, so kinda have to make sacrifices here. That is it for the main deck. Onto the extra deck, of course, the main event, the Shooting Quasar Dragon. If you did not see this coming, if you did not think I was using my UR Dream Prismatic on this, what is wrong with you? Like, anyone who knows me well enough by now knew this was coming. Anyway, must be Synchro Summoned and cannot be special summoned by other ways. Maximum number of attacks per battle phase equals the number of non-tuner monsters used to Synchro Summon it. Once per turn during either player's turn, you have an Omni Negate, and when it leaves the field, you can special summon one Shooting Star Dragon from your extra deck. Give us an extra deck plus so I can actually use this float! It's such a good float, no one sees it coming, but we don't have the room! Oh well, anyway, Stardust Warrior. During either player's turn, if your opponent would special summon monsters not through an effect, you contribute this card, negate the summons, and if you do, destroy those monsters. During the end phase, if this was activated successfully this turn, you can special summon it from your graveyard, and if it's destroyed by battle, or if this face-up card you control leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you can special summon 1 level 8 or lower Warrior Synchro monster from your extra deck, and it's treated as a Synchro summon. You could, realistically, if you had an extra deck plus to go with this, float in the Jet Warrior instead, but I prefer having Shooting Star, personally, for Quasar. Of course, Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Once per turn during either player's turn, when another monster's effect is activated, you can negate the activation, destroy that monster, and if you do, this card gains attack equal to the destroyed monster's original attack until the end of the turn. More importantly, if this card battles a level 5 or higher monster your opponent controls, during damage calculation, this card gains attack equal to the current attack of the opponent's monster it is battling during that damage calculation only. Note that is not once per turn. Read this effect, people. I swear to you, people still don't read this effect. It's ridiculous. Hey, anyway, the classic, the timeless classic even, the Stardust Dragon. During either player's turn, when a card or effect is activated that destroy a card or cards on the field, you contribute this card and negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card. During the end phase, if this effect was activated this turn and not negated, you can special summon it from your graveyard. Of course, the timeless classic, Stardust Dragon is, well, a card that withstood the test of time for a reason. Even in the TCG. Anyway, Formula Synchron is next. When this card is Synchro summoned, you can draw 1 card, and once per chain during your opponent's main phase, you can essentially Excel Synchro. Catapult Warrior. Once per turn, you contribute a junk monster, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half of the original attack of the tributed monster. Scarred Warrior next. Your opponent can't target face-up warrior-type monsters for attacks, and once per turn, if it would be destroyed by battle, it is not destroyed. Yeah, you kind of have to go into Scarred Warrior if you see other warriors on board, because it's protecting them from battle. So, one combo I generally do, you've seen it many times, ends on Stardust Warrior on opponent's turn with Crystal Wing in defense. Scarred Warrior is making it so Stardust Warrior doesn't get run over by battle, because it's preventing it from being targeted by attacks. Does that make sense? Either way, Tatsunoko is last. If this Synchro Summon monster will be used as a Synchro material, one monster in your hand can be used as one of the other materials, and it's unaffected by other monsters' effects. Pro tip if you are playing into Raw, even if you have full combo for the Turn 1 Quasar line, don't ever go for it. Instead, what you want to do is find some way to end on Stardust Dragon and Tatsunoko in defense. Reason being, Immortal Phoenix can pay the life points all it wants. It is not getting rid of Tatsunoko. Even though both cards are unaffected by, in this case, monster effects, Tatsunoko takes priority here, because both are passively active. So keep that in mind. If you want to wall out Raw Immortal Phoenix, make sure you end on Tatsunoko in defense mode. Anyway, on to the replays. And this one took about 17 attempts. Trust me, it really should have taken more. But for some reason, I don't know why, people were throwing left, right, and sideways. But before we get to the actual climb, I've got some bonus replays to show. Reason being, I did not get the main combo even once in the successful attempt. So let's start things off by showing off a brand new skill. Battle Chronicle. Magician's magic on crack, but it also works for Blue Eyes.
Yugi, please duel me.
For Dark Magician, it doesn't matter so much. For Blue Eyes, it makes them mindless as all hell. And I mean outright mindless. You better hope you have Cosmics.
This is my key to victory. Now's the time.
So discards the Magician Navigation to force a spell or trap negate during my turn. Smart move, I'll give you that.
Now's the time.
And ends up leaving himself with nothing in hand for later.
My turn is done.
It's my turn.
So the top deck Doppel Warrior just decides to happen. Anyway, so we're technically going to improv this, but technically all you need is Jet Synchron and Doppel Warrior. Normally what you'd do is you would pitch Jet with the first effect of the skill, add Junk Synchron to hand. In this case, we're going a bit of a roundabout way about it, but we're not flipping the Synchro Chase here like we normally would. Reason being, well, the Dark Magicians is in play. We don't want to be flipping spells right now or he'll just get a free draw. Anyway, as usual, normal summon Junk Synchron, bring Jet Synchron back, trigger Doppel Warrior to special summon from hand. Use the Junk Synchron and the Doppel Warrior to Synchro summon Scarred Warrior to the extra monster zone. Next, we're going to be activating Doppel Warrior's effect to get our 2 Doppel tokens. Use Jet Synchron and one of the tokens to Synchro summon Formula Synchron. Chain 1 Formula, chain 2 Jet, so you get your search for Junk Converter and then your extra draw. Yeah, this is where having 2 Junk Converters can be really useful. Use Formula Synchron on the other token, Synchro summon Tatsunoko. Then, we're going to use Tatsunoko on the Junk Converter we just added to Synchro summon Catapult Warrior. In this case, we don't use the Synchro Chase effect, but we would be bringing back Tatsunoko. But regardless, we're using Junk Converter to bring back Formula Synchron. And in this case, turn 1 Quasar.
Evolution of light. Shooting Quasar Dragon.
Yeah, but he didn't see that coming.
Battle. Attack shooting Quasar Dragon. Attack shooting Quasar Dragon. The burst of creation.
My monster's effect.
Tries to activate, Quasar says no, and he's basically got nothing he can work with here. Dark Magician can only do so much.
I will not lose. I still believe in my cards. I draw.
You believe in your...
Yeah, that was a classic case of, what do you do at that point? You really can't do anything. So, I'm going to show a bit of an altered combo line here, because while I was initially going to try and at least do this route anyway, this was a throw in several ways. Yeah, people are kind of just throwing recently.
I'll prove that nothing and no one is useless. I've already... Duel! You'll see. Here comes Destiny Hero Drill Dog. Show 'em. Check out Destiny Hero Soul. You're about to... Here it comes. I exceed summon a monster. I activate malicious.
So just straight Evil Swarm Nightmare for some reason. And set 2.
I draw from my hand. From my hand.
Yeah, remember how I said Droplet can be a tech card?
I activate my spell card. Tuning.
This is pretty much what I mean.
A duelist jump. Here's my face down card. The tuner monster jump synchron's effect. Here's my tuner monster jet synchron. I activate my monster's effect. Activates. I need your help.
So with Nightmare negated, we can do the usual route.
His spirit still scarred. I activate my monster's effect. My monster, is that supposed to scare?
And then proceeds to Warning Point my Scarred Warrior. The only thing that really did was stop Scarred Warrior from attacking that turn. Because we're gonna do the usual combo line here this time, so we're gonna speed this up a little bit. Tatsunoko into Catapult Warrior. And here's what we would normally do. Use the Synchro Chase, bring back Tatsunoko, Converter brings back Formula, and at this point what we do is, in this case, regardless of whether the Warning Point happened or not, use the Tatsunoko and Catapult Warrior to Synchro Summon Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Reason being, I wouldn't have had game anyway. The only thing that really made that change is, well, put bluntly, Warning Point, the unlimited limit 3 trap. But Dystopia comes out, and here's where things get a bit amusing. Destiny effect. Dystopia tries to do something funny here, and then Chain Formula Synchron. Straight to Stardust Warrior. And Synchro Chase brings back Crystal Wing. Can you see where this is going? Realistically smart move, but yeah, I get 2 negates for 1 Crystal Wing. It's dumb. It's dumb when that happens, but when it comes up, it's essential. Anyway, with Destiny Hero out of the way, on to the climb proper. So yeah, 17 attempts later, or was it 18, I forget. Point is, it took way longer than I thought it would, but it also didn't take as much time as it should have. I don't know what it was, but for some reason, people were throwing left, right, and center.
I'll prove that nothing and no one is okay.
So, we've got Blackluster Soldier to start things off, and we just have the basic Jet Synchron combo. So we're gonna grab Synchron Explorer, flip the Synchro Chase, go into Tatsunoko, search the Converter, you know how this goes. I set 2 specific cards here for a reason. One of which is because I swear they're gonna open Book of Moon, and the other is because I need the Chalice. More often than not, we just bring back the Jet for extra defense, but in this case, since we have Droplet in the deck now, we can actually use that as Droplet fodder.
I end my turn. My turn. I draw. I activate my ritual spell.
So it just goes straight Blackluster Soldier, which in the OCG got a normal monster version of it without the ritual. So, Legendary Swordsman.
Here's my face down card.
And decides to Super Soldier Synthesis this one.
I ritual summon a monster.
From my hand, I activate my spell.
Swords are revealing light. Cute.
How's this for an answer? Here's my face down.
Near the end of main phase, so flip challenge to make sure Legendary Swordsman doesn't block my effects.
There's still hope for
Read Crystal Wing, people. Just saying.
monster's effect.
I end my turn.
Time to put the pedal to I draw. From my hand. I'll set a card. This is the strength of our bond.
I activate my
I
monster's
activate
effect.
my monster's effect.
And whatever that was, oh yeah, Envoy of Chaos.
I activate my
How about
monster's
no? We don't do that around here.
Growing up
Yeah, people, read Crystal Wing, please. So, there is one particular reason I wanted to show off Battle Chronicle. And it's because for some reason, despite this actually being Blue Eyes, no Battle Chronicle to be seen. Instead, we just get Blue Eyes Dimension, which is basically a free win.
I have a few minutes to spare. Duel.
It's go time. Each card has
So,
power waiting
assuming
to
you
be
have
unleashed.
Jet Synchron and Jung Synchron, or at least in this case the Synchron carrier, we can do this combo. Make sure Jet is what you send to the graveyard, flip the Synchro Chase.
Activate it.
Then you're going to normal summon your Synchron carrier.
Summon a monster.
That's going to give you your extra normal summon
The
Jung
monster,
Synchron.
Jung Synchron.
That's going to activate,
Jung Synchron's effect.
letting you bring back the Jet Synchron to your field. Use Jet and the carrier,
Set a card. I set a
in this case
card.
I'm setting the tuning as a bluff,
Okay.
but back into Tatsunoko and this should look familiar.
Jet
Same deal as
Synchron's
before.
effect. I synchro-
But here's where things get interesting. We specifically want Catapult Warrior. Reason being, for next turn, you want Scarred Warrior just in case.
Level 5.
Don't proc the Synchro Chase here. Instead, just use Converter to bring back Tatsunoko. Then, use the Catapult Warrior and one of your tuners to Synchro Summon Stardust Dragon to your main Monster Zone. If you don't do it this way and go to the extra Monster Zone, assuming you have to do Destruction Prevention Tributing, you don't have a follow-up for next turn if you bring Stardust Dragon back, which you want to be bringing back at all times anyway. So, to make sure your zones don't get clogged up later, put Stardust Dragon in the main Monster Zone. You will not regret it. This is where you proc your Synchro Chase and bring back Catapult Warrior. Use it and the other level 3 tuner to Synchro Summon Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon to the extra Monster Zone.
I end my turn.
My turn.
And he just scoops right here for no reason. I don't know why he did it,
I
but
believe in all my cards. And this belief was what allowed me to win.
hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. I don't know why he did that, but I'll take it. So, speaking of throwing, we got another example of this, but it wasn't quite on the turn that I thought it would be. So, yeah, someone basically completely new in Legend 2. You can thank the anniversary box for that, because we are in fact dealing with Speedroid.
Let's rev it up.
Let's duel. You're in for it now. My turn. Speedroid Terror Top. Terror Top's effect activates.
Unfortunately, I got a really bad hand for this.
Speedroid Take Tombo. I activate Take Tomborg's effect. The Tuner Monster. Speedroid Fuki Madoshi's Hyper activates its effect. Beat your wings to whip up a whirlwind of this. Level 7.
So, he does actually do the correct combo that I mentioned in my previous Speedroid profiles.
Pave the way for the monster.
Or at least among the basic combos.
Take flight. Speedroid double yup.
He specifically does the preservation of the second extra deck Clearwing in there.
Tuner Monster. Speed Red-Eye
You'll see what I mean in a second.
activates its effect.
Here comes the Charge Warrior,
Synchro Summon.
get the extra draw,
I activate my
and go from there.
duel is
which is really, it's realistically a very smart move.
It's go time.
I gotta give props there.
My turn.
They at least know what they're doing.
A duelist. I flip over my face from my hand. I activate a quick play spell.
I'll play this. My set card. I
activate my spell card. Tuning. I activate my spell card. Tuning.
All right. I flip over my set card. I activate a quick play spell.
Jet Synchron's effect.
Crystal Wing.
So I specifically do that to bait the Crystal Wing, which worked because, you know, Steroid players, if they don't know what to choke, are kind of dumb.
I summon a monster. The tuner monster jump Synchron's effect. Okay.
So I do this combo in a bit of a weird way.
Level
Catapult
5.
Warrior.
I activate my must. I activate.
This is where the Synchron Carrier's extra token buddy over here
Monster jump. Okay.
nearly actually mattered. You'll see what I mean.
Endless wars. His spirit still scarred warrior. I activate a continuous. The tuner monster need your help.
And so, Crystal Wing.
That's a no.
Unfortunately, that chalice kind of screwed up my entire routing.
Quick scarred warrior.
If that wasn't there,
Brave dagger.
Scarred would have run over the Clear Wing here, right? Crystal Wing for 3k, and the token would have swung for game.
My turn. I draw. Speedroid double yo-yo. I activate
So,
double yo-yo
realistically,
effect.
it's over.
The tuner
Because all he had to do was go
Red dice.
Crystal Wing into frigging my Crystal Wing, and then Clear Wing into my
I
token.
activate Fuki Madoshi Piper's effect from the oh yeah.
For some reason,
Synchro.
he says screw that and tries to go Mist Worm of all things. I was also thinking potentially Mistbird Clausulus,
Rin will be mad if she learns I barely put up a fight.
but you had a second Clear Wing. You could have won that.
Determining factor.
Why would you do that? Why? Anyway, that stupidity aside. Okay, servers, work with me. Don't you hate when that happens? Mazar. The single biggest reason this took 17 attempts. Or was it 18? I don't care. This took way too long solely because of him.
I'm
Why?
Mazar, the last duelist you will ever face. Duel!
Tachyon.
It's go
Just
time. I activate my
Tachyon.
spell card.
So I was hoping to mill Doppel here. Unfortunately, not so lucky.
I flip over my face. I activate my.
So I do this mainly to thin out the deck.
I need your help. I summon a monster. The tuner monster jumps Synchron's effect. Here's
So
my
you've
tuner
seen this combo
monster
before
Jet
plenty of
Synchron.
times, so we're just going to speed this up once again. Except, you may notice what I did there. I specifically ended on Scarred Warrior to give myself some battle defense. Also, yeah, Tachyon Dragon Domination. You barely got to see the first effect, but for effectively no cost, he can not only effectively get a free normal summon of a level 8 dragon monster, but add a new one to his hand as he so chooses.
I activate my monster's effect. I activate Nebula Dragon's effect from my hand. Come forth! Appear! You stay.
Adds Tachyon Transmigration,
I set a battle. Go! I attack.
and lets Dingirsu run over Jung Synchron.
I draw.
That won't help you. My set.
The tuner monster jumps Synchron. I synchro summon a monster. Level 5. I activate activate a continuous spell.
Yeah, basically, I knew if he went Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon, we'd have problems.
The tuner monster, the tuner
This was pretty much an
monster
option
activates
select,
catapult
so since it
warriors
worked
of
successfully,
battle. Diving past the hopes of the world coalesce
figured I'd
into
just
a
throw out the
single
Catapult
star.
Warrior effect.
Let's
Why?
rev it up.
Because funny. It wasn't gonna matter, but it was funny. Just to disrespect him, because Tachyon is obnoxious. So, what he should have gone for was Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon and had the transmigration in his hand.
Witness the bond with my cards. My friend,
But he threw this here.
sword,
What's really funny about this is that Quasar got to come out anyway.
evolve. I'll rev it up to blast through my limitations.
Oh man, this was just such a weird attempt. I just can't believe this worked the way it did. It was so bad.
Battle.
So,
Attack,
I
shooting
can't blame him for
Quasar
thinking, okay, then Gears 2 will keep me alive if I keep it safe.
How could this be?
Except I had this ready. Yeah, I held the lance for that exact reason.
This will end you. Attack, shooting Quasar
It
Dragon.
wasn't gonna matter, but it was funny.
I don't believe it. You defeated my Tachyon Dragon?
As a
Which
duelist,
never even
I
came
need
out,
all
dude.
my cards.
Oh man. That was just, like, this entire climb was just weird. And now for basically the only game that even made some sense. You're thinking another Tachyon. I was too, and believe me, I was ready for that attempt to be completely ruined right at the end.
Let's rev it up.
You must be in
Duel. It's go time. Each card has.
Man, am I glad I went first.
Here's my face down. I know what to do. I
Your
summon a
plan
monster.
won't work. I activate my
Jet Synchron's
Valor.
effect. Here's my
Which is
tuner
annoying
monster.
because that means
I
my
synchro
only
summon
means
a
of Junk
monster.
Synchron
I synchro summon a monster. Level 5.
was my two tunings, and my other Junk Synchron still left in the deck.
I need your help.
But I figured, okay, Crystal Wing,
I
Chalice,
synchro summon a monster.
please let's just hope to God that's
I
enough.
end my turn.
It's my turn. I draw. I set a card. The stage is
Constellar. Thank God.
Show yourself.
Because if there's one thing I know how to do,
Monster.
it's out
I'll
Constellar.
play this. I activate my monster's effect.
I knew you'd try that. I activate my monster's effect.
That ends my turn.
It's my turn. I draw from my hand.
Cosmic off the top, and that was, I believe, okay, was bottomless track.
I've never felt such humiliation.
Growing up on the streets taught me.
And at that
everything
point,
was
he just
valued.
kind of wouldn't have been able
So
to do
every card
anything.
and move led me to
Even if he went Pleiades or M7, it wouldn't have had enough attack to run over Crystal Wing. And, well, Crystal Wing Negate was still alive and I had Chalice still in play. So, what could have been done? Nothing. But yeah, this was the only game that made any sense whatsoever. I'm just shocked that that attempt worked. So, thoughts on Synchron Quasar in this format? It's stressful. It's very stressful. It ain't like previous formats where it was definitely a powerhouse that could get through a lot of boards if you had the Jet and Doppel combo. It can still do that, don't get me wrong. But the problem is, with Tachyon being a thing, if you don't go first, have that combo, and have the back row, which means you basically have to have a perfect end board, you're probably not going to stop it. There's a lot of decks in general just full of absurdly broken skills that Synchron Quasar without the Jet and Doppel line can't really contest consistently. And I hate to say that because, honestly, again, I've said this many times, I love me some Synchron Quasar. I love me some Synchrons in general. But as the format stands right now, it is hard for them to actually do what they normally do. It's hard for it to play its game when you have such mindless stuff like Shiranui, Mayakashi, Tenyi still running around, Trap Twins, yes, I call Live Twins that for a reason. The new Battle Chronicle Blue Eyes with Ultimate Fusion, not sorry, that is just mindlessly freaking toxic. And of course, Tachyon. It's very difficult for Synchron to play consistently anymore. There's a reason why this took so many attempts, and it was primarily Tachyon alone. Other than that, I will say, if you do get a situation where this thing gets going and has its full end board, it is extremely difficult to get through. It's extremely difficult to run over. But with that in mind, that's all I really have to say for now. So, until the next video, later guys.